This is going to be a fairly interesting video. Free energy, super sensory perception, Nikola Tesla, and the sea in which the earth floats. I guess the question is really where to even begin. I would like to start by stating that I do think human perception should be far greater than the world we're locked into, than the perception we have via the five senses. If anyone's interested in this, I would highly recommend David Icke's work. He talks very well on the fact that we are locked in a vibratory prison. We are locked, so we are experiencing a tiny, tiny frequency, a tiny range, when actually the potential of our perception should be far greater. Now, there are many of us who have access to other levels of reality, and this is termed super sensory or extra sensory. The reason why I felt the need to say super or extra is because I don't believe this perception is super at all. For me, the first time I heard that expression, it made me think of like a superman or a superwoman. It seems almost fantastical in the realm of fantasy, these superhumans. And it also separates those of us who can see into different levels of reality from those who can't. It gives the impression of a superior, inferior dynamic, and that is completely incorrect. We are all super, we are all powerful, we can all access so many different levels of reality, not just the five sense, not just the very solid. So that's firstly very important to say. There are many people who do have access to different levels of reality. There's a lady on YouTube called Teal Scott, and she talks about her own version of extrasensory perception, where she perceives thought forms and energetic forms. She basically has access to the energetic nature of our reality, and that is something that many others do have access to. Now, the reason I think this is so important when thinking about free energy, the 0 point field, 0 point energy, Nikola Tesla, there's also a man called Dr. Thomas Henry Murray who wrote a book called The Sea in Which the Earth Floats. There is literally a sea in this space around me. Space is the greatest illusion. Locality, dimensions, separation, isolation, this is all just illusion. Right now, around me, the space between myself and the Canon camera I'm talking to is just full of energy, in constant motion, in constant fluctuation, full of energy. This is the true nature of our reality. This is the true nature of us, the true nature of consciousness. And this is what Nikola Tesla and Thomas Henry Murray and others tapped into. It is endless energy, and it is coming to us all the time. It is coming to the earth from an unknown source all of the time. And we can access these realities. We can see the energy dancing, fluctuating, moving. We can see its beautiful dance. The physical world is so polar opposite to this energy, and it really breaks my heart when we understand the energy in the space around us, and then you hear stories of lack, of limitation, that there is not enough when we are existing in an abundant sea of energy. Now, to me, this can't be by accident. This is by design. We have been sold a physical reality so opposite to the true energetic nature. Now, there's nothing wrong with physical. Obviously, at a quantum level, that apple is just energy. We are living in a sea of energy. By being put into this very physical vehicle, we can experience physicality. We can experience what it is to be limited, what it is to be put into a location, to be shown apparent limitations. But we're supposed to experience that. We're supposed to experience that while being in touch with our infinite energetic nature, while accessing many different levels of reality. I truly believe that we can all see on an atomic and cellular level. Nothing has any definite size or location. It's all subjective. We give things their definition and their location. But it is not true. I mean, to someone who's 5 foot, I'm very tall. But to someone who's 6 foot, I'm quite short. Silly example, but everything is relative. And I put that onto the atomic world as well. I think to us, it's minute because we have a certain size and our eyes have a certain ability to perceive. But what about the pineal gland? That spiritual center, spiritual powerhouse in the center of our brains. What about that? Do you think the pineal gland is limited? Of course it's not. We can perceive these things. We can tap into the sea of energy around us. And by tapping into it, we can experience our physical lives from a divine angle. Rather than feeling trapped, we can understand the limitation as complete falsity. We can embrace the experience and say, I know that what I'm living is illusion, but I will learn through the illusion. The whole thing is illusory, and that doesn't make it negative or evil. I don't think it is. I think there is great deception taking place, great suffering. We have been taught the idea of isolation, us and them, so we can separate ourselves from the suffering we cause. We think that, say, wars or places where there is great suffering going on, I often think of the animal feeding lots. We think that because we are this many miles, this many kilometres from the suffering, we have detached ourselves from it, out of sight, out of mind. But that is such illusion. In the energetic field, there is no space. Everything is connected. The sea of energy is all connected. There is no location or separation. So I'm standing here right now, and it appears to me that there are many different countries, and I can separate myself from the suffering happening hundreds of miles away. But the suffering is right here in this room. It's in the space that my body is occupying. I'm acutely aware of it. In the same way, we cannot separate ourselves from happiness. Any happiness generated in the world is also in the space, also within my body. It's beautiful, huh? Embrace what the ego finds very hard. Timelessness, spacelessness, just infinity.